Hey everyone, today I'm going to cover 3 reasons why your bass fills might be sounding bad and how to fix them. You know, a lot of players think that fills are just things that happen. You play kind of what you feel and it'll sound great, but most of the time it doesn't. And if that's your approach, we're going to talk about 3 main reasons why your fills might be sounding off. And the first one is timing. The coolest fills will sound terrible if you don't play them in time. And even if you normally keep great time, fills can throw you off. And that happens because you're deviating from your line, you're thinking about where to put the fill, you know, what notes to play, how to get back into your pattern, right? And so it's no wonder why your timing's gonna suffer. All right, so how do we fix that? Well, there's no magic, really. It just takes practice. And I find that picking a few fills and putting them into different songs is actually great practice. Now, the key is to keep practicing them until they're in tempo and you're comfortable going in and coming out of them. And remember, this is practice, so I'm not suggesting that you pick a few fills and play them over and over and over again in your actual playing, because that would just kind of get boring. And then when you're comfortable with your timing, you'll find that your mind is freed up to think about and get more creative with the next thing we're going to talk about, which is note choices. Listen to the notes you're choosing. If you can, in a rehearsal situation or a live situation, see if you can record yourself and then listen to the notes that you're playing and using for your fills. And fills are a bit subjective, you know, but I would start with what you know will work, right? So for instance, if it's a blues song, then play a blues scale. If it's a melodic song, then play more modal sounding notes. If it's a rock tune, then, you know, just for simplicity, start with the pentatonic scale. Again, as with the timing exercise, practice along with different songs and try to come up with different fills each time you play it. And remember to always pay attention to your timing. Now, once you get that down, you can push the boundaries, right? And then you can experiment a little bit more with different modes in different songs, or combining different modes and scales, etc., etc. The last thing we're going to talk about is a placement of your fills. So your timing is spot on, you're comfortable with the notes, what scales will work, etc. And now the question is, like, you know, how do you fit them in to a song? If you listen to other players, you'll find that they usually put fills at the end of a 4-bar phrase, usually coming out of, let's say, a verse into a chorus or a chorus into a verse. I find that for funk, what works really well is when you actually place the fill on the one of the downbeat on the one of the repeating phrase. I think that really sounds neat. You got to get about it, just like I told you. So don't get stuck at the end of the 4-bar phrase kind of rut, right? Vary the placement of your fills. And I find that putting it on the one works really well. Another thing to keep in mind is that you need to use them sparingly, right? So usually in sections where you need to build tension, for example, when there's a repeating chorus or you're building the dynamics of a solo section, right? You don't want to put these in the beginning of verses or like at the beginning of solos where you need to bring down the dynamics, because that kind of just sounds a little jarring. So that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful, and if so, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.